Football season may be over, but for frequency's sake still has you covered for all your sporting needs. Tune in every Sunday when the best professional wrestling podcast around, Cards Subject to Change, gets you caught up on everything inside the ropes. They won't miss a count with weekly analysis and interviews. More into auto racing? We've got a double dose for you on the track. Tune in to Fast Money with Rod Villagomez each week and win some money with the quickest bets in all of sports. Want more insight from Pit Row? Check out the Green, White, and Checkered podcast where they give their insight on everything happening on and off the track. Need your basketball fix? Points in the Paint has you covered with live shows every other week looking at everything in the association. Backed by popular demand, we have the return of The Payoff Pitch, FFSQC's baseball show, covering you on news around the MLB. If you're missing football, don't fret. Mark and Dan still have you covered in the football lounge. Missing Joe Winkle? Probably not, but he's still here talking sports on Educated Ignorance. Football season might be over, but we've still got you covered. For frequency's sake, you know what we mean.
For frequency's sake is brought to you by Durham Remodeling, serving the Quad City area's remodeling and repair needs since 1973. Clint's Draft House, grab a bite and a pint. 7th Street Moline. Lopez, New York-style pizza served up by the slice or pie, Davenport. Lifted Energy, energy drinks, coffee, donuts, and more. #GetLifted. Atomic Sports Cards and Collectibles. Sports cards and memorabilia, vintage clothing, hats, pennants, and more. Ryan Allison Tattoo. Step into the vibrant world of tattoos with Ryan Allison. And A Cut Above, offering quality custom woodwork designed specifically around our customers.
Hey everybody, this is Hollywood from the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, and you're listening to the Card Subject to Change podcast. I hope you enjoy it. Have a good day. Bye.
Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show.
You know, the custody. God, I can't believe we're saying this. I mean, what do you drop that suitcase with as a big chicken nugget? If you want to go ahead and make it right for Dominic, since he likes chicken nuggets or whatever, he has got to be the most
briefcase full of chicken fingers.
Yeah, there you go.
And then that's when I found ECW, and RVD changed my life. I actually saw a clip of the Van Terminator, and I remember the hype going into, I think it was like 2000. I remember the hype going into a heat wave that RVD created this new move, and it did not disappoint. It was amazing. and the Van Terminator alone was the reason why I actually pursued professional wrestling.
Just, it blows my mind. And I'm tugging on my mom's pants and stuff, and I'm like, Mom. And she's like, yeah, what? And I go, I want to do that. And I'm pointing at the TV. Well, she looks and she goes, oh, you want to be like Macho Man and wear the cool sunglasses and say, oh, yeah, and do the elbow drop? And I go, no, I want to be the guy throwing snakes at people.
Yeah.
And now, your hosts of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the For Frequency's Sake Tag Team Champions of the World, the Wizard CZ, and never wrong, Nick Bull.
Hello and welcome to a special Tuesday edition of Card Subject to Change, the podcast by the fan for the fan. We are powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and of course, protected by Jared Zook of Country Financial. As you can see, I am the Wizard CZ, one half of the For Frequency's Sake Tag Team Champions. My partner, Never Wrong Nick Bull, he is on assignment tonight, but that's okay because we've got somebody special coming into the studio here. We are here talking about all things Central Empire Wrestling, and I'm going to bring in the head honcho of Central Empire Wrestling, and we're going to talk all things about a big upcoming event. Let's welcome Austin Bayliss back into the studio. Austin, how are you, my friend?
What's up, dude? It's good to see you. We're not face to face, but we're screen to screen. So thanks, man, for having me. I appreciate your patience and working with me on this. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a good night.
I agree. And I know you've got a really busy night here, so we're gonna talk as much as we can until you run out of time. maybe a little earlier than that. We'll see how it goes. But I'm excited to have you on, and I'm excited because we are talking about Bridge City Slam 6. Tell us a little bit. I know we had you on last year, but for those who weren't tuned in last year, tell us a little bit about the history of Central Empire Wrestling and Bridge City Slam.
So Central Empire Wrestling has always been a mom and pop company. What I mean by that is we started out in the small town of Westchester, Iowa. The entire town might have only had 150 people in it, right? So small town, small roots. We grew up pretty quick. We went to Oskaloosa, an hour west, and a little bigger town, but still a very rural feel. We've been putting on shows there now for 18 years. That's phenomenal. So we do shows, I would say quarterly in Oskaloosa. We've been doing that for a long time. But Bridge City Slam. So here's the deal. For those of you that know me, you know that I've wrestled and I've promoted and I've been the DJ and I've been the videographer. I've done a little bit of everything. So what I want that to tell you is I'm a fan. I love pro wrestling, and I collect autographs, I collect memorabilia, and I was traveling all around the United States to go to these different events. And one time my wife and I were on a trip, and she said, well, why don't we do this? Why are we going to Florida? Why are we going to Las Vegas? Why are we traveling? Why don't we we've got a company, let's bring them to our fans. Let's bring them to us. And I was always told by my mentors that you didn't need to have celebrities. You didn't need to have multiple names. Smaller shows were just fine. And I agree with that. But I also agree that you can be different and go above and beyond. And so we came up with this crazy idea to rent an arena. Now, when I tell you we're a mom and pop and we're running in small towns and YMCAs and wedding venues, and then I say we're going to do a crazy thing by renting a big venue, an arena, that was really crazy thinking. The rent is totally different. The time, everything about it is just bigger, right? And so I want to say about 2018, we had our first Bridge City Slam, and the headliner was Trevor Murdoch, right? Now NWA champion, but at that time, former WWE star that hadn't been seen in mainstream TV for a while. He was just there to cut a promo on the show and to do a meet and greet. That was the biggest thing that Central Empire Wrestling had ever done up until that time. And we felt like $1 million walking into that arena because it was huge to us and to our fans. And to have Trevor in the locker room, that was pretty sweet, right? We do that show. It's fantastic. We had 250 people. That was a massive success for us. And I wanted more, right? Like that said, okay, we're on to something. Although it's small, people like autographs, people like meeting celebrities, people still love wrestling. The following year, we came back with Jerry the King Lawler, Terry Runnels, Mr. Anderson, Hardcore Holly, and a couple others. That's huge growth, right? When you talk about 250 people, that next year we had 500 people pack the Bridgeview Center. We knew we were onto something. Everybody had fun. The matches were great. It just felt special. And then guess what happened? The C word happened. COVID.
Oh.
Nothing worse than the C word, man. We were rocking and rolling, and everything was so good. So we do Bridge City Slam 2 in January, and COVID hits in March. And you know how that went. For at least a year, we were shut down, and we didn't know what was going to happen. Fortunately, we took a dive, and we ran a show in September of 21. It went very well. It was a phenomenal welcome back to live events. We had Rikishi, Candice Michelle, Gangrel, JTG, Eric Redbeard, I believe another one or two. And it was like after being shut down for over a year, when you're very successful and you know you're onto something, that comeback felt so good, you know. I mean, what a story to think that you have this crazy idea, you go out and you grab it and you take it to new heights, and it's everybody's happy, everybody's wanting more, and then you get totally shut down. And we come back for Bridge City Slam 3. It was phenomenal. We come back the next year for Bridge City Slam 4. Ted DiBiase was there. Hornswoggle came back. Matt Cardona, NWA champion. Trevor Murdoch came back. We had like 8 or 9 celebrities. And again, remember, 4 years prior, the biggest thing that we had ever done was Trevor cutting a promo. So now Trevor comes back. Matt Cardona is there. Victoria's there. It's just, we're rocking and rolling. We're having a good time. And on that particular show, we had 700 wrestling fans come from like 26 different states.
Wow.
So for the small mom and pop that started in a town that only had 150 people, maybe, I don't know, 100 people, to go, and this is ticketed. These are people that are investing their money in you. These are people that are buying a plane ticket. There were 2 people that got on a train and came all the way from New York City. So that was pretty neat, pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Last year, Bridge City Slam 5, another phenomenal crowd. Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle, Ottumwa, Iowa, Central Empire Wrestling. Wow, you know. So we're 6 years in. We're 2 weeks away from year number 6. We're excited. I feel like we have a phenomenal card. Jake the Snake Roberts, Jordan Grace, Buff Bagwell, Demolition, Powers of Pain, 2 full tag teams, right? Like, I think that's pretty cool. A lot of times you might get like one Dudley boy. Well, no, we've got Demolition, we've got Powers of Pain, we've got a WrestleMania match here.
Absolutely.
Enzo, the Boogeyman, Amari Miller. I mean, man, this whole show has just got me super excited. I'm very proud of it. I've worked very hard to get to this point. And it's an easy show to talk about. It's an easy show to be passionate about. Bridge City Slam is our Super Bowl. It's our WrestleMania. It's our big thing. You know, there's nothing bigger than Bridge City Slam. So the growth that we have had is phenomenal. I'm super proud of the support that I announced a sponsor today. The sponsor's been with us every year, and he was responsible for bringing in Trevor Murdoch for the first show. And then he brought in Hardcore Holly, and then he brought in Candice Michelle and Victoria and Kurt Angle. And this year he's proud to sponsor Enzo. So it's really neat, you know, when you look at somebody like that too. He's got a story with Central Empire Wrestling, and fans have the story because they've traveled from 3 states away. They've got on an airplane. They've taken time off from work. I mean, it's, for me, it's just really neat to see that many people believe in this vision that so many mentors of mine back in the day told me wasn't necessary, you know? So believe in yourself, believe in what you have to offer. Rock and roll, man. It's good.
Absolutely. So how far in advance, how much planning goes into a Bridge City Slam event?
Bridge City Slam's like a baby. I've been working on this. Where are we at? We're in August. The show's in September. I know for a fact that I was booking the building in January, so that's 9 months. I mean, that's truly a baby. It just depends, but just because the show happens September 7th, it still takes me a long time to come down from this, because for 9 months in anticipation, I'm saying Jake the Snake, Jordan Grace. I'm booking the flights. I'm booking the hotels. I'm doing all of it. I'm living it, you know. I'm carrying it with me everywhere. And it's hard to go from that addiction to just, show's over, you know.
Well, absolutely. It's not like you can just flip a switch and it's done.
I would say that Bridge City Slam is with me all year. It really is. I believe in it. I invest in it mentally, physically, financially. And you've got to. And I'm proud to do that. So I usually melt down about 3 or 4 days after the event. Just that emotional dump of, we did it, you know. Every year there's some major catastrophe with airfare, or somebody, you know, there's always something, and it usually happens the night before, 4 a.m. the day of. I mean, there's some sort of something, and you just got to roll with the punches, man. The show must go on, and we've been very lucky that the shows went on as advertised. If we tell you somebody's coming, we've done everything in our power to get them there. And
for sure.
I think that sets us apart from a lot of places, to be honest with you.
And, you know, like the name of our show, like the flyer says, card always subject to change in events like this, because you never know what's going to happen. Austin, there is a lot of wrestling going on that weekend. For me here in the Quad Cities, we've got SCW Pro doing their 21st anniversary show. We've got AEW's All Out. And, of course, we've got Bridge City Slam. What's the draw? What do you say? What are you saying, other than the celebrities that are coming? What do you say to get someone in that door?
It's a $20 ticket. It's a $20 ticket to see Jake the Snake, Jordan Grace, Buff Bagwell, Demolition, Powers of Pain, Enzo. I mean, $20. You know what it costs to come to a normal show of ours? $20. So, and by the way, every ticket's a good ticket. So you can set front row, you can set all the way in the back. The Bridgeview Center, it's a big place for us. It's a small place for entertainment. Everybody's close. Everybody's right there in the action. There is no more affordable option for professional wrestling all year than the value you get at Bridge City Slam. That $20 ticket that gets you in the door, you never have to spend another dollar. I think the affordability is fantastic. One of the things we're doing this year to reward some of our biggest fans, yourself included, people that buy a first row ticket, people that buy a second row ticket, they get to meet Buff Bagwell for free. Okay. The last several years, they've had to pay for every meet and greet. The first couple of years, actually, we did have people in the first row. I think we only had the first row at one point. You know, they had a free meet and greet, but I think that's a big deal. So our biggest supporters, the people that buy the tickets right away when they go on sale, that's a major perk to them. So anybody that has a ticket in the first or second row, they're $125. They're expensive. Excuse me. But those people get to meet Buff Bagwell for free. Okay. It's a major perk to be in the first or second row. Nobody else gets to meet them. So you're going to have people sitting in the third row for $100. They're going to be out of it. Right. Nothing wrong with the third row seat, but for $25, you get to meet Buff. I think that's pretty nifty. I think that's pretty sweet. Here's something that, you can see my son Briston in the background. When we travel to these shows, we travel as a family and we carry memorabilia and all of that. I think for me, my best, if I were attending this show, the table options are phenomenal. We've got $50 and $60 table seats. The sweet thing about the table seats, they come with a free drink and a free food item at bell time. So you're going to get a free pop. You're going to get a free, let's say, cheese sticks or chicken strips or something. Again, if you have a family, if you have memorabilia, you like to spread out, tables have 8 seats. There's plenty of room. Again, $50 seats, $60 seats. Doesn't matter which one you get. Great view, great place, and you get free food. So I think that's a pretty big deal.
And I know I'm a picture guy myself. I know a lot of people picture autograph. I'm looking forward to meeting Jake the Snake and a couple of other people, getting my picture taken with them. But I'm also looking forward to the card. I want to talk about who's in matches. And I want to start with our good friend here. He's got a segment on our weekly shows, on our normal weekly shows, Mr. JT Energy. He's lighting up the comments, says the only place to watch Jackson King get his mouth shut for $20 is going to be Bridge City Slam. So that's obviously one of the matches. Talk about who else we can see on the card.
Well, first off, JT Energy has been the golden standard for Bridge City Slam. That's why they call him Mr. Bridge City Slam. He's been a part of every Bridge City Slam. He's been undefeated. That's pretty phenomenal. Longest reigning CW champion in history. He's main evented. He's opened the show. He's been a tag champ. He's been a singles champ. I mean, he is Central Empire Wrestling, in my opinion. And so then you have this other guy that has accomplished nothing in Central Empire Wrestling that shows up. He walks in the front door like the fans did last year, and he runs it. Yes, he's a pro wrestler. So he's got that going for him. I've got his attention, or he's got my attention, blah, blah. But I'm just kind of like blah, blah on him. Jackson King. He comes into my house. He comes into our event, our WrestleMania, and he starts talking trash and saying that this event is nothing and he's the man and whatnot. He's 0-1. We put him on the card last year and he got smashed. It's one of the best moments of Bridge City Slam 5 for me. And I think Bridge City Slam 6, this time he's on the card. We're advertising him. He's going to be there. He's going to get shut down. And JT Energy is going to be 6-0. September 7th at the Bridgeview Center. You're not going to want to miss it. JT will show you exactly why he's Mr. Bridge City Slam. And Jackson King, my man, hopefully you're done running your mouth.
For sure. And I know you've got some of your celebrity guests also on the card. Enzo is taking on the Central Empire Wrestling champion, Rory Fox, who a lot of people are using that hashtag, not my champion. But Rory is using the opposite, hashtag my champion. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be a really good match.
Absolutely, man. Rory Fox, in my opinion, is one of the worst CW champions of all time. And you can't teach that, right? Like when you see him, you just hate him. You hate the way he looks. You hate the way he talks. You hate the way he acts. You hate what he represents. And fortunately or unfortunately for wrestling, you kind of need that guy, right? You need that guy that you want to pay $20 to see get his mouth shut. We've got it in Jackson King. We've got it in Rory Fox. Enzo Amore, one of the best talkers in wrestling. I'm excited to have him there. When you say what's going to draw people in, I sure hope that match does.
For sure.
Two phenomenal people in the main event for opposite reasons. Bridge City Slam 6, man. It's going to be great. The Boogeyman, right? Are you a Boogeyman fan?
A little bit, yeah. I enjoy his antics. I can't say that I agree with him eating worms, but definitely enjoy what he brings to the table.
It's the real deal, dude. CZ, it's the real deal. Boogeyman has ordered 15 dozen Canadian Nightcrawlers. So I'm not teasing when I say the Boogeyman's going to be there. He's going to be a phenomenal meet and greet. He's also got 15 dozen Canadian Nightcrawlers he plans on eating. So he'll save one for you. 15 dozen's a lot. He'll share. And if he doesn't, you might just have to reach in and grab one for yourself. But
that's fair.
The Boogeyman, dude, is going to be great. I've heard people say that growing up, he gave them nightmares. And I think that's fun because to me, wrestling's about emotion. Wrestling's about how somebody makes you feel. It's a bonus if you get a 5-star match, if you get a perfect headlock takeover. But if you feel emotion behind somebody delivering that, you're going to be sold for life like I was. The Boogeyman is somebody that resident, duty swarms. What else is there to say? You're going to remember that. So now you're going to get to see it. September 7th at the Bridgeview Center again. $20. $20 gets you in the door. Boogeyman, let's talk about the meet and greets a little bit. Fan Fest starts at 4:00. It runs from 4 to 7. Bell time's at 7. So for that 3 hours, you're going to get the opportunity to meet these stars. Okay. It's a la carte. You can pick and choose whoever you want. There's different pricing for everybody. Sometimes people are, the local wrestlers are going to be there. They're going to have pictures too. You can meet them too. They're going to have t-shirts. They're going to have stickers. They're going to have anything, JT's going to be there. Jarrett Thumb's going to be there. I might even have some CW shirts after 6 years of people asking. But yeah, so Boogeyman, $40 for an autograph, $40 for a picture, but you might want both. You're going to get it for $60. He's bringing limited edition t-shirts for an extra $30. So 40, 40, 60 for a combo. If you want to add a t-shirt on, it's an extra 30. So $90, you get Boogeyman's limited edition shirt. You get a picture, you get an autograph. You're going to want to do that. He's a good dude. He's again, you don't see him every day. And that's what Bridge City Slam is. You don't see that quality of an event. You don't see that type of event very often. You're not going to want to miss it. Buff Bagwell, exclusive. The only way you can meet Buff, and you're going to want to because he's a stuff, is if you have a ticket in the first or second row like you do. And I thank you very much for supporting Central Empire Wrestling, not just with this podcast, but with your wallet and with your time. You're traveling a long ways. I'm very happy to have your support. Thank you, my man.
Absolutely.
You get him for free, dude. You get him for free. He's a bonus. He's the ultimate thank you. Buff. I've talked to him several times. He's great. He's going to be talking to the fans. He's going to be cutting in another promo, reaching out to the fans to help get him in the door. It's going to be good. Jake the Snake. What's his meet and greet? His meet and greet is 50, 50, 80. So $50 for an autograph, $50 for a picture, $80 if you want both. You can save a little bit of money. You're going to want to do that. He's not going to have the snake. I wish he would. People were wanting the snake and people were not wanting the snake. I love it. I kind of looked into the snake actually, but enough people kind of rioted and said, we're not meeting him if he has it. So, all right, fair enough. But Jordan Grace is going to be there. She's 30, 30, 50. Jordan Grace, TNA Knockouts champion. She's been on NXT. I think she's in the Rumble this year. I bet she's in the Rumble next year. I bet she wins the Rumble next year. It's her time. We've got her. She's wrestling in a singles match against Sierra. Phenomenal women's match attraction. It's going to be all good. By the way, my son is kind of photobombing me in the back. Say hi, Briston.
Hello.
Look the other way, bro. We're blocking each other. There he is. So you see that face back there kind of smiling? That face is going to look a little different September 7th. You know why? Because September, oh gosh, what do we got here? What's it say? Rory Fox is not my champion. Rory, you are not my champion. There you go, dude. He elicits an emotion. People have a thought. So you see that face back there that just held that sign? Bridge City Slam, we're doing something this year that we haven't done. We're going to have face painting for all kids for free. Totally free. We've done it before. Kids have loved it. This year it's going to come back. We're going to have it for free. So you know what's sweet about that? You're going to get your face painted just like the Boogeyman. You're going to get your face painted just like Demolition. Just like, hey, you're a kid, right? You're going to get your face painted, CZ? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll do it.
So what's your choice? You want to get your face painted like Boogeyman or Demolition Axe or Smash, Warlord, Barbarian? Gotta
be one of Demolition, but I'm not sure which way to go.
Okay. You can be Crush. It's all right. It's all good.
That's fair.
But,
yeah.
Maybe you'll be Sting, right? Maybe you'll say, Bridge City Slam 7. You're gonna foreshadow our guest next year, right? You're gonna be Sting.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're happy with that. We've got vendors. We've got vendors that have trading cards. We've got vendors that have action figures. We've got vendors that have autographs, a little bit of this, a lot of bit of that. Again, that's to me what makes Bridge City Slam special. Excuse me. We've had video game tournaments. We've had bags tournaments. We've had the face painting. It's been a huge success. We've had the memorabilia collectors. You're going to walk through there, and it's an event. It's not just a wrestling show. It's so much more. It's something that especially, I tell you, mom and pop, I tell you, small town, I tell you, rural Iowa. We're approximately an hour and a half southeast of Des Moines. For many of our fans in that area, that show will be the biggest show that they ever attend. And it's going to be something that they remember for the rest of their lives and that they tell their kids and their grandkids about. So I've had some time over the last 6 years to go through rural Iowa and hang posters. I call it Poster Palooza. It's a crazy time of the year where we go around and we hang like 1,000 to 1,500 posters. We go into your small town meat locker. We go into your small town grocery store. We go into your Menards. We go everywhere to hang posters. And people tell me all the time, I remember Ted DiBiase. I remember Jake the Snake. But I really remember Bulldog Bob Brown, Rufus R. Jones, Harley Race, those guys coming through this area. And I'm hoping that we're creating that same memory, that lasting impression with Bridge City Slam.
Absolutely. Speaking of bringing people in, Zach Takis messaged me earlier, and he's also in the comments. He wants to know when Blue Rocket is going to be back.
Well, so Zach, unfortunately, is doing commentary, and if he wasn't doing commentary, I bet he would be there. So, yeah, Blue Rocket's the man. I love him. He's one of my favorite guys to watch wrestle. But Zach's now he's doing commentary. He's doing Shotgun Wrestling Radio. He's just not able to do Blue Rocket anymore, and I get it. I appreciate it. Sometime somewhere, hopefully, we see him again.
Yeah, hopefully. We. I know we got a lot of good comments here. We've got a lot of people watching, so I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Austin, I know you've got a busy night. You've got another show you're hopping on here in a little bit. Before I let you off the hook, final thoughts. Give everybody just your final thoughts on what you want to say tonight, and I don't know what else I was going to say. My mind froze.
Yeah, dude, I got some more time for you. Check this out. You see this kid behind me? He loves this stuff. Just like you, just like me, just like everybody else watching. This is my son, Briston. Central Empire Wrestling has always been and will always be a family-friendly show. We've got people of all ages. We've got grandmas, we've got grandpas, we've got moms, we've got dads, we've got little guys like Briston who's starting 4th grade on Friday. I'm excited for him.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we've got all walks of life that enjoy Central Empire Wrestling. So walk into the Bridgeview Center September 9th or September 7th. You're going to see 7 phenomenal matches. We've already talked a little bit about Mr. Bridge City Slam, JT Energy, and his match. We've got Kurt Gannon, Joey Avalon, Rich Maxwell, and a triple threat. 3 phenomenal guys looking to break out in CEW. Kurt Gannon has never missed a Bridge City Slam. He's 6 for 6 after this one. Joey Avalon returning for the 2nd time. This will be Rich Maxwell's first and debut Bridge City Slam. So you never forget your first time. Here we go. Rich Maxwell, this is your moment. Bridge City Slam triple threat match. We've got a match. So were you there last year, CZ? You heard about it.
I was not able to make it last year. I heard about it.
Yep, you heard about it. It was great. And one of the matches you heard about, because it was great, was Jared Thumb versus Damian Saint in a grudge match. Those two guys, they went out, they came, they saw, they conquered, and many people said it was a match of the year for Central Empire Wrestling, maybe beyond that. Phenomenal match. These two guys just can't get enough of each other, man. They hate each other, for better or worse. So they're going to be back, Bridge City Slam 6. The first match to appear on 2 Bridge City Slams. I think that's neat, I mean, you could say long-term storytelling, you could say long-term hatred, you could say long-term entertainment. It's either way you dice it. Any way you dice it, you're right. So Jared Thumb, Damian Saint, Bridge City Slam, you're going to see that match. Grudge match is going to be wild. It's going to be crazy.
And I'll be honest with you, Austin, that the 2 promos that the promos that each of them cut on social media, that's one of the things that drew me. I'm a friend of Jared Thumb's. I know Damian Saint to an extent, and I'm excited to see them go at each other because I missed it last year. But the promos that they're cutting on each other right now, that's what really drew me in and made my final decision as to, okay, I'm going to do this instead of anything else wrestling related.
Well, thank you. And thanks to both of them. But you know what that says about both of them? That's passion. That's loyalty. And that's hustle, right?
Yeah.
And that's respect, right? I mean, like all of a sudden I was doing John Cena here, but the point is those guys feel this show. Those guys feel this moment. They stole the show last year on a phenomenal card, and they're coming back to do it again. Both of them want a victory. Both of them need a victory. Bridge City Slam 6. I'm excited. I think it's phenomenal. You can tell the guys that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for them. You can tell the guys that want this to be an opportunity every year for them. Many of the wrestlers, they'll have custom wrestling gear. They'll debut new characters. They'll debut a manager. They'll debut something. Bridge City Slam. You turn on WrestleMania, you're like, sweet. LA Knight's wearing Jordan boots, right? He has a tribute to the Jordan shoe. you see these guys, then they debut new gear, they debut new characters, they debut whatever. Bridge City Slam, I think this year you're going to see some debuts. I think you're going to see some things you weren't expecting to see. Debut, I'll tell you a neat little story. Kelsey Magnolia, I don't know if you're familiar with her. You should be. If you're not, you're going to get to see her September 7th at Bridge City Slam 6. Kelsey Magnolia, her debut in professional wrestling was for Central Empire Wrestling in Oskaloosa. Her very first match as a professional wrestler after training with Tom Pritchard and Kane was for us. And this is her very first Bridge City Slam. So very excited for her. Very excited to have her a part of that show. Amari Miller, formerly known as Brene in Central Empire Wrestling, in 2018, 2019, 2020 timeframe. Got signed by NXT, went to WWE for a while. She's going to be there wrestling Kelsey. Phenomenal. It's great. You look at this show. You look at this show and you see Jake and you see Jordan and you see Sierra and you see all of these people. And you're like, man, what a show. $20? $20. Phenomenal. So
we have one of our tags going into the show that we play every once in a while is from Coco Beware. He says, you can't whip it with a switch. You can't beat it with a stick. So don't even try. And this sounds like that kind of show for sure.
I hope so. I mean, it sounds like that to me. I hope other people feel that way. I don't know. What are we? We're like 2.5 weeks out. So
yeah, just about.
It's going to be a crazy 2.5 weeks. I can't wait. 3 weeks from now, I'll probably be sitting by myself crying in the dark because I'm coming down from that emotional high of 9 months. But I love it. I'm addicted to it. I'm looking forward to Bridge City Slam 6, but I'm looking forward to Bridge City Slam 16 and 26 and 66. We're here to stay. This is fun. Professional wrestling has been a part of my life for over half of my life. And so how do I want to say this? When we started Central Empire Wrestling in 2006, 2007, I just wanted to go to my small town, which was close to where I lived. I wanted to wrestle. I wanted people to think I was cool. You know, this was before selfies. I mean, this is like MySpace is rocking it. There was no such thing as a podcast. There was no such thing as a stream. I mean, we were small time, and that was cool by me. That's all I ever wanted. Now you get to 2024. I saw a kid last week or last month, a couple weeks ago, and he said he was 24 years old. And he's been coming to Central Empire Wrestling since 2006. So now our fans have grown up with this, and their kids are now coming to show. We've got 3, 4, 5 generations, of people that are seeing Central Empire Wrestling. A good friend of mine, I trained him, Tim Rhodes. He married my wife's cousin. They just had a baby the other day. The baby's coming to Bridge City Slam. It's amazing what'll happen. Wrestling's a magical place. It's just a phenomenal thing. It has been for me at least, and so many other people that have found it. If you're not doing anything, September 7th at the Bridgeview Center, we present to you Bridge City Slam 6. We've had people travel from many or most of the United States of America. You can be one of those. If you're listening and you're free, look into it. $20 gets you in the door. It's going to be a phenomenal night of professional wrestling. You have an opportunity to meet your heroes from your youth, from present day and the future. An all around phenomenal product. I think you're going to have a great time. We would love to have your support. If you have questions, hit me up. I'll do my best to answer them. CZ's the man. He's rocking and rolling every week on the podcast. I miss Nick. What's up, Nick? I hope you're watching. Hope to see you September 7th, but thank you guys for always being good to me. It's all good, man. It's all good. I'm excited. I still got a few minutes here. I don't need to run off now. If you have any more questions, or if you can read to me if anybody listening has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I'm not seeing a lot of questions. I will say one thing. You're super excited. If you have never been to a show on the independent wrestling scene, you need to go. If you've been to WWE, this is a totally different experience. It's a lot more intimate, and you get a lot more bang for your buck than you do by seeing the. And I'm not knocking AEW, WWE by any means. This has a different feel, and it's a once in a lifetime experience that you're going to want to repeat forever, if that makes sense. Did I say that right?
So I don't know if you saw this. I saw it the other day. My buddy Storm Thomas and I are good friends. Storm Thomas has been a part of every Bridge City Slam. And he comes up from Florida. He brings his family up from Florida. People come from everywhere to support him and to see everybody, really. But he's got family that comes from this state and from that state, and fans from here and fans from there. And he started with us, right? He started with Central Empire Wrestling. Then he went to wrestle all over the United States. And people believe in him. People support him. People love him. So this is the first time that you're seeing Central Empire Wrestling or independent wrestling. It's very similar to WWE. There was a first time that you saw John Cena. There was a first time that you saw Chad Gable. And then they grew to become your favorites or your least favorites. Central Empire Wrestling is no different there. We tell great stories. We have great characters. This is a phenomenal stage. The difference is you're going to get to meet Storm Thomas. You're going to get to meet JT Energy. You're going to get to yell at Rory Fox. You're going to get to yell at Axel Grease. We haven't even talked about this, and I'm happy that we're coming to it now. The Powers of Pain, legendary tag team. I don't even know. I've been friends with Barbarian for a long time. I have no clue how much longer they're going to be wrestling as a tag team. They're challenging for the CW tag team titles against Donnie Pepper Cricket and the Iceman. That's pretty sweet, I think. We talked about the WrestleMania match with Warlord, Barbarian, Demolition Axe, and Smash. Like, we've got both of those teams in the house. One of the teams is actually competing, right? You're going to bring a baby doll for Snitsky to kick? God, we haven't mentioned Snitsky.
Yeah, I was actually hoping that I could get him to record for the podcast saying, "You're watching the Card Subject to Change, and it's not my fault." I don't know if that'll happen, but that's my hope.
Yeah. No, I love it, dude. I mean, I just forgot to mention Snitsky. I forgot to mention the show is so loaded that you're like, oh, Jordan, oh, Jake. And then at the end, you're like, oh, forgot. Powers of Pain. You know? Like, there's so many things going on. And that's a great problem to have. That's a phenomenal problem to have. Come check it out. Again, if we can't see you there September 7th, I'd love to have your support at a different show. We have a really fun show that I'm going to announce. I probably won't be able to announce it, but I can't wait to share with you when somebody else announces it later on this year. We're going to be a part of a really neat event. 2025, we've already got 4 shows lined up for the mall in Oskaloosa. Mall Madness, you were there. What a vibe that was.
And I absolutely love that venue. I think it's unique and brings its own energy to everything. I loved being there, and it was a great atmosphere.
So, yeah, we started off in Oskaloosa at the YMCA, then we went to a wedding venue, and this whole time over the course of 18 years or however long it's been, we wanted to be at the mall because that allowed us our greatest opportunity for growth. When you're in a small venue, you can only get so big. Your potential is only so much. So I feel personally like we've kind of stagnated, we're just we're as big as we were going to be there. And it was sad for me, which is, I guess it turned into a better thing because we have Bridge City Slam. We just moved 30 minutes south to Ottumwa. But no matter what, Oskaloosa is always home, right? That's where we found our greatest support. And so to be able now to be doing Bridge City Slam and rocking and rolling and everything, but now to be able to grow in Oskaloosa, I really foresee that mall show growing into like little brother, little sister to Bridge City Slam, to where we can go there a handful of times a year and build to the big boy of Bridge City Slam. So that's where I think you're going to see guys like Jared Thumb really grow. You're going to see guys like Damian Saint really grow. The stories are going to be phenomenal. we're going to put a lot more time, a lot more effort into growing that community like we have Bridge City Slam now that we have the ability to. And it just rejuvenates you, you know. I'm excited for September 7th. I'm excited for Bridge City Slam. But in the back of my mind, I'm already thinking, okay, what are we going to do with Mall Madness next year? What are we going to do next year to Bridge City Slam? And I can tell you, again, I feel so good. I feel so happy for Central Empire Wrestling, for our fans, for our wrestlers, for our staff. It's good times. It's a good place to be right now, Central Empire Wrestling. So, again, thank you, CZ. You're the man. I love the fact that you take time out of your life, not just for me, but for Central Empire Wrestling, for wrestling fans in general. You've been at this for a long time. It takes a lot of dedication. I appreciate that. Keep it up.
Thank you very much. I love what I do. I love being able to have this platform and to bring people like you on the show to talk about promote your events, to bring people like JT Energy, Rory Fox has been on the show, just to name a few, and to give them a new platform to promote themselves. That is one of my all-time favorites. Sure, we talk about the big dogs in WWE and AEW, but our heart and soul is in the independent scene and giving them a voice to speak out and let themselves get out there a little bit more.
Yeah. No, you know, people, when I'm hanging these posters, sometimes it's hard to gain traction when you go into small towns and you hang a poster. And on the poster, it's the Blue Rocket. We know that the Blue Rocket's entertaining because we're diehard wrestling fans. But the casual person has a hard time buying into that, you know, a hard time giving it a chance. But when the casual person sees Kurt Angle on the poster, when they see Candice Michelle on the poster, when they see somebody that they remember, it really opens the door for growth for Central Empire Wrestling. You know, me, for our fans, for the wrestlers that like a Blue Rocket that may not get in front of that big crowd if it wasn't for somebody like Kurt coming in, you know. And now everybody wins. Everybody wins. People from 20-some states coming to check this event out. Phenomenal. So awesome. Thank you very much for your time. I do it's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm a school bus driver. My son starts school this week. I'm self-employed. I start school. He starts school on Friday. We're rocking and rolling for that. I do appreciate you working with me on the times. I know it was a little goofy there. My fault on that. So thanks for your patience with that. But here we are, man. We're wrapping it up. We did it.
We did it. And if you want to hear more about Bridge City Slam, or even some of the same stuff that Austin has talked about on this show, tune into the 2 Count. He's hopping over there in just a couple minutes, and they're our good friends. We've had Tommy Chilstrom on the show for sure. Love those guys and what they do. But Austin, thank you. I appreciate you coming on. I really do. I love having you on the show, talking about Central Empire Wrestling, and I look forward to having you back in the future.
Yes, sir, man. You got it. Anytime. Maybe 7, 8, maybe 9. Yeah, the times might get screwed up again, but we'll make it happen. Sound good?
We'll make it happen. We'll make it work.
You're the man. Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for spending your time with us. We appreciate it. We love you. We love professional wrestling. So anytime we get to talk about it, share our stories, it's all good. It's a good night. So thanks.
Thank you. And thank you all for tuning into Card Subject to Change, the podcast by the fan for the fan. Of course, powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook of Country Financial. We will be back on Sunday with our normal show, talking all things All In, coming up from London this weekend. Thank you again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.